Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to cut through all the noise and get straight to the facts, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're decoding the practical and surprisingly affordable role of artificial intelligence in Kenyan public service. We're using some really fresh data straight from AI consultancy Kenya. We hear so much global buzz about AI, but today, we're looking at how it actually functions right on the ground in local government to make civic life better for everyone. Let's dive right in.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the digital governance gap. Then, we'll unpack the public sector AI toolkit. After that, we've got a real-world success story from Zawadi County. Then, we'll walk through 5 steps to implementation. And finally, we'll break down the actual costs, timelines, and some common mistakes to avoid.
All right, Section 1, the digital governance gap, and where tech adoption in government actually stands today.
22%. Now, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, despite making some really solid strides, like those online portals for passports and taxes, the public sector is still heavily lagging behind the private sector. Get this, only 22% of government agencies even have a basic website. That is a massive tech gap, especially when you think about the rapidly growing population and the sky-high demand for efficient, accessible public services.
So, how do we fix it? Well, to close this gap, we have GovTech Kenya. This is a dedicated initiative focused on leveraging technology to streamline processes, boost citizen engagement, and just improve governance across the board. And the critical, modern component that's literally supercharging this whole initiative, yep, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. AI isn't some far-off sci-fi concept anymore. It's the practical, everyday bridge we need to close that 22% gap.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Public Sector AI Toolkit and Solutions for Efficiency.
So what does this AI toolkit actually bring to the table? Well, for the analytical minds out there, the biggest draw is a potential 30% boost in efficiency in a complex bureaucratic system. I mean, that kind of gain is absolutely monumental. It means resources get reallocated, wait times just plummet, and those endless backlogs basically disappear. Plus, you get the ability to provide round-the-clock, 24/7 citizen support, and you get the incredible capability to identify and prevent corruption using data. You can really start to see why this toolkit is a total game changer. Let's break down the specific tech making this happen.
First up in the kit is the chatbot. Look, we all know what a chatbot is, but in a civic context, it's huge. It means offering multilingual, 24/7 support. So a citizen can ask about business registrations at 2 a.m. on a Sunday and get an instant, perfectly accurate answer. No waiting in line, no being put on hold. It completely takes the pressure off the human workforce while vastly improving how citizens engage with the government.
Next up, we have predictive analytics. Instead of just reacting to issues when things go wrong, this uses statistical models and machine learning to analyze data and actually predict future outcomes. Think about its real-world civic application for a second. You can analyze patterns in public spending or service delivery to identify and stop corruption, or even just bureaucratic bottlenecks, before they ever materialize. It completely shifts a government agency from being strictly reactive to being actively proactive.
The third major tool is process automation. This uses AI to handle business processes, workflows, and document management. Guys, this is the absolute cure for bureaucratic bottlenecks. It takes those repetitive, mind-numbing data entry tasks right off the plates of public servants. It makes service delivery exponentially faster for the citizen and honestly way less tedious for the workers involved. A total win-win.
Let's look at a real-world example in Section 3, Zawadi County Success, showing AI in local government.
Take Zawadi County, for instance. They're a local government agency in Western Kenya, and they were facing a very universal struggle: incredibly high inquiry volumes, a super small team, and a highly limited budget. If you've ever interacted with the public sector, you can definitely relate to this reality of being asked to do so much more with so much less. They were really struggling to provide timely support for everyday essentials, like passport applications and business registrations.
But check this out. By integrating an AI-powered chatbot directly into their existing website and social media channels, they saw a massive 40% drop in phone calls and a 30% reduction in emails. I mean, just imagine the human relief that brought to that small team. By letting the AI handle that massive volume of repetitive, simple questions, the human staff was finally freed up to handle complex issues. It entirely changed the county's service delivery dynamic.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Let's get into Section 4, Steps to Implementation, your action plan.
Implementing AI might sound daunting, but it's actually a finite, highly structured process. First, you have to identify your exact problem, like, are you struggling with citizen engagement, or is it internal process automation? Second, gather and analyze your data, because AI absolutely needs clean information to learn from. Third, choose the fitting AI solution for that specific problem. Fourth, develop and heavily test it. And finally, deploy and actively maintain it. Updating government tech is entirely manageable when you just follow a clear, step-by-step blueprint like this. Which brings us to the most important part for a lot of people, Section 5, Costs and Common Mistakes. Basically what you need to know before you start.
Whenever people hear AI, they instantly assume it costs millions. But a chatbot, that runs between 50,000 and 100,000 Kenyan shillings and takes just 2 to 4 weeks to deploy. Process automation is even more accessible, starting at just 20,000 KSH with a turnaround time of only 1 to 3 weeks. Predictive analytics tops out at around 200,000 KSH and takes about 4 to 6 weeks. So these solutions are not just highly effective, they're surprisingly affordable and really fast to integrate.
Now, to be fair, it isn't just plug and play, but the good news is the most common mistakes are highly preventable. Things like failing to define clear goals before you start, using insufficient or just plain bad data, relying on outdated infrastructure, forgetting to actually train the human staff on how to use the new solutions, or failing to perform ongoing maintenance once the AI is live. At the end of the day, technology is only as good as the human infrastructure and data supporting it. Avoid those missteps, and your implementation will be incredibly smooth.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. With proven tools readily available, clear roadmaps to follow, and process automation starting at just 20,000 Kenyan shillings, what is genuinely holding your agency back from better service delivery? The technology is here, it's totally affordable, and most importantly, it works. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the source material. I hope you found this breakdown as fascinating and empowering as I did. Keep learning, keep pushing for better systems, and I will see you in the next explainer.